Episode 8 is where everybody started packing their homes, their families, and unfortunately, their red flags. Because the way this episode ended, yeah, we need to talk.
Kay Unscripted, no teens restricted. In this journey, watch our stories unfold.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. This is Kay Unscripted. I am your girl Kay, and today we're talking about Love is Blind Season 10, Episode 8. Y'all, there's so much to talk about, so let's get right into this recap. So we start the episode off with some of the couples still showing each other their homes. Chris is showing Jessica his apartment. It looks nice and cozy, but he pretty much implies that realistically it would make more sense for him to move into her place since she already owns her home. He also shares that he had a conversation with his parents about Jessica's age and the fact that she doesn't want kids, and surprisingly, they were very accepting and happy with that. Jessica admits that she was nervous about their reaction, but she felt relieved knowing that they were on the same page. She explains that while she's open to the idea that her feelings could change in the future, right now she's certain that she doesn't want kids, and that aligns with Chris's future goals as well. Then we see Jessica's home, and it's absolutely beautiful. Chris mentions that living there would be a big lifestyle change compared to what he's used to, but it's not too far from his apartment. He lightly teases her about her snake decorations and having heating pads, but overall they share a sweet moment talking about how grateful they are for each other and how the timing of their relationship feels right. Next, we move on to Alex and Ashley, who are working at home together. She asks if he's on a call, and instead of answering a simple yes or no question, he says that once a month the head speaks on things that causes ripples in the market that he trades in, and more she questions him. He's like, well, this is like my job at this point, yeah? I don't know who he's trying to convince, but it ain't me, and it's not Ashley either, because you could tell she really wasn't taking him too serious. She also shares that she has a meeting waiting on a promotion, I would say, but he wants a timeline because he doesn't want to be stuck in Cleveland. She says, well, first of all, I'm not trying to trap you here. I have told you that I'm open to moving to somewhere warm. And remember, he said that he has a job in Florida. He said that he has a contract for that job in Florida. She said that she has no ties to Florida at all, but pretty much tells her that this works for them politically. And I'm like, child. Arizona is also an option. He said that he could get a soccer job there too, but Florida is his first option. Now he's pressing her to give him a timeline, and she's like, well, we've just been here for 5 minutes, right? Give me some time to figure this out. But Alex is more so concerned that she's going to hold him back. You could tell that she's over it, she's over the conversation, and she knows that something feels off about him. Maybe her dad did tell her, you better not marry that man. Maybe that's what's happening, but in my opinion, he seems to be pressing her to make a decision right now because he seems to have already made up his mind that Florida is where he's going to next. Remember, this man doesn't have a resting place, he's all over the world. He then says, oh, your eyes are talking but your mouth isn't, which immediately puts Ashley on the defensive. She explains that she needs to speak with her boss to explore her options because she really loves her job before she even commits to anything, as she should. I don't think that this is a decision she should take lightly at all. Alex then says he doesn't want to feel like he's failing in family life. And I was just like, that's ironic considering how this conversation is going. He brings up small incidents like his water being relocated. He talks about how he folds his clothes, saying that he doesn't want repeated issues like that. Ashley points out to him that they've already talked about these things, so why is he now bringing this up? Ashley says, well, since you're airing everything out, she brings up how they were touchy in the shower after a date and how Alex suddenly left when intimacy was about to happen. He says he feels like he was the one initiating in Cabo, while Ashley feels differently because to her, physical touch is very important. She also tells him that he did previously mention that the physical attraction wasn't there for him, which leaves her questioning whether he's actually attracted to her. Alex says this isn't his usual type, but insists that he is attracted to her. Now, we didn't get to see that conversation originally played out. I wish we did, but you could tell that damage was clearly done because she does feel a little bit insecure because since Cabo, they have not been intimate with each other. Now, instead of giving a real reason why they haven't been intimate with each other, he brings up Ashley's cycle, saying that he's being cautious because he doesn't know when she is off her period, which felt like a strange deflection considering protection exists. Do they know that? What is happening? At this point, it really seems like he's nitpicking instead of being honest about what is actually happening. Ashley makes it abundantly clear to Alex that she's not trying to trap him. She's not trying to keep him where he's at. She's not trying to trap him into having a child because she doesn't want to. And that's a conversation they've had. And from the outside looking in, it feels like Alex may not be attracted to her and is using everything else as an excuse. She walks out and goes into the room, but they do circle back to the conversation later. Ashley says she would prefer to keep her current job because she genuinely likes the company she works for. She does apologize and says that she will work on a few things. Alex also apologizes and says that he wants this relationship, but honestly, he doesn't come across as ready. To think that would have turned off Ashley, but she just wants some. Because to me, even his career explanations feel unstable, and as her dad previously mentioned, he seems to struggle with telling the truth. Ashley, girl, I'm concerned. You should be running. Next, we're at Jordan's and Amber's place, where Amber's brother Jacob comes over to meet Jordan. They talk about Amber's waffles. Apparently, she makes amazing waffles. And Jordan says that he also loves cooking. They also discuss Jordan meeting Amber's daughter. And it sounds like they had a really positive and meaningful interaction. Jacob ultimately gives his approval, especially considering Amber hasn't had the best dating history in the past, and she's really happy that her brother has approved of her relationship with Jordan. Then we see Vic and Christine on a little date. Christine teases Vic about not knowing how to swim and jokes that he needs to learn before they have kids. They talk timeline and agree on 2 years. Christine opens up about her fear that her mom and his mom, since they're aging, they may not be around to see their future children, which leads into a really thoughtful conversation. Vic brings up the fact that they would be raising a biracial child and asks if Christine has any concerns. Christine says she wants her children to be around others who look like them, while Vic emphasizes wanting their kids exposed to people from different backgrounds, and that's because he came from New York and he got to meet so many different people, different culture, different foods, and that sort of thing, and that is what he wants his children to be exposed to. They both agree on the importance of having open conversations about race and preparing their children for the realities of the world, especially for Vic as a black man, knowing some things that exist in the world today and being prepared to have these conversations. And she too says that she wants to learn, she wants to support and to be able to be there for her children when they need her. This was one of the most intentional and mature conversations we've seen so far this season, and you could tell that they genuinely care, and there's so much intention in the way these two are with each other. Up next, Devontae meets Brittany's family, her mom, dad, brother, and sister-in-law. They talk about the anxiety of returning many missed calls and messages after coming from the experience. Devontae opens up about his family and mentions that he has a twin, which kind of excites Brittany because she's always wanted to have twins and feels like this is her chance, right? And I'm just like, I think not, girl. I don't think that's happening for you. Brittany tells her father how attentive Devontae is. He's doing laundry, cooking, folding clothes, and showing up for her consistently. They talk about the reveal and how both of them felt when they saw each other for the first time and how they connected over Brittany being such a giver. I bet you did. Devontae shares that his father wasn't present in his life, which motivates him to want to be a devoted father and husband. Brittany's dad gets emotional talking about how his dad, I think, stayed with his mom until her passing and wants the same commitment not only for him but also for all of his children. Now, in a private conversation, he encourages Devontae to ask all of the hard questions, get all of the clarity you need before walking down the aisle, because marriage is forever and divorce is not something that they have in their family. Next, Connor meets Bree's mom, and immediately she's telling her mom all kind of things about Connor, and she was working my nerves. I'm telling y'all, every time I see Brie, she annoys the hell out of me. So I know Connor is annoyed as hell. They talk about how Connor and Brie met and how the process has been for them. Brie says Connor has seen every side of her and admits that she doesn't always give him enough credit for how consistently he shows up for her. Now, it's funny that she's saying that he's seen every side of her because, I mean, it's just been a short matter of time. Can you really see all sides of a person in that short space of time? I don't know. That's what she said. Brie mentions to her mom that Connor kind of has a frat house, like implying that he lives in a frat house and that she had to tell him that wasn't acceptable. She also admits that she's not confident enough yet to introduce him to her dad, which definitely raises a red flag for me. Because a minute ago, when your mom asked you, what is it about him? All you were saying is, oh, he loves me. He just loves me. And that makes me love him more. Now, while her mom gave her the stamp of approval, we could tell that it's going to take more when it comes to her dad, right? But in my head, I'm thinking that Brie is just not really that into Connor. That's definitely what it's giving. That's my opinion. And that's why she doesn't feel confident enough to introduce him to her dad as yet. But I'm gonna need Brie to stop talking crap about that man. Please stop. It's really, really, really annoying. Then we see Emma meeting Mike's family. Right away, his mom expresses confusion and discomfort with the process and questions how quickly they said, I love you. Mike had to step in and explain to his family that the experiment accelerates emotional intimacy. Now, I really like the way Mike just stepped in to kind of shield Emma and for them to be a united front. That is how it should always be. His mom also schools her on the difference between sauce and gravy, and I didn't like that at all. That was really awkward to me. Then they bring up the topic of children. Emma then lets them know that she's not certain if it's a yes for her. There are some things that she needs to figure out first before she confidently says yes. Now, his mom kind of pushes back and said, well, what's going to happen if you all get married and in 6 months she says she doesn't want kids? What's going to happen now? Mike had to intervene and ask his mom to be open-minded. Now, when his dad asked if both of her parents are Asian, yo, was it me or did I hear the mom say, well, that's good? I kid you not, I heard the mom say that's good. And I'm like, what does that mean? Please explain yourself. What do you mean by that? Emma explains that she was adopted into a white family. She talks about her birthmarks and the whole shebang. We know the story, and I'm not going to get into the whole story because we know what it is, right? His dad seems to be a bit more understanding, but tells them that marriage is for a lifetime. That is the family's belief. His mom, on the other hand, is concerned that they're going to get married and end up breaking up because of the differences with the kids' situation. But they know ultimately that the decision is up to Mike, and they're willing to give the support and accept Emma into their family. Now we end this episode off at Chris and Jesse's apartment. Something that we definitely didn't see happening. But once we saw Jess get into that house and we saw Chris's reaction, we knew that something was off. Immediately could tell that something is going on. So y'all, apparently Chris went out to see his friend and he ended up spending the night at his place and didn't give her a heads up or just sent her a text pretty much saying, I'm going out and I'm going to be staying at my place, right? He says he doesn't feel like they need to be in constant communication with her and says that it's only been 48 hours. She said, neither do I, but I am your fiancé. Chris, what do you mean by you don't need to be in constant communication? Because if we're getting married, I'm going to need to know more than just I'm going out with a friend and I'm sitting at my home, because y'all are sharing this space and you're supposed to be coming back to your shared space. So where were you? What were you doing? We want answers, Chris. Jessica tells him that if he needs to decompress, she understands that, but he needs to communicate. He needs to let her know. He claims that he said that, but she said he didn't. And in fact, he said he needed a 14-hour break. And I'm like, what? From what? Why? Why do you need a 14-hour break? He tries to say that he didn't say that, but she's like, but why would I make that up? And I believe her, because the way he was turning red definitely showed that he didn't expect her to say that. But spill it, Jessica, don't hold anything back. Chris says that in his life he has struggled to be direct and then attempts to be direct but still isn't direct. Instead, he asks her if she thinks they have a good physical connection. And I'm like, but where is this coming from? She says they do, and you could tell that she was taken aback by that question. So was I, because where is this coming from? Why are you asking her that? He's trying to explain why he asked that question. He says he wants to choose his words carefully, as you should. Please be careful with what comes out of your mouth from this point onward. But in so many words, said that he dates women who are more physically fit. Mind you, Jessica is beautiful. So I'm so confused as to what he's talking about. You still weren't direct, because she had to say it. She had to tell you, is that what you're trying to say? And I saw what he was doing right there. I saw it. He let her say it with her own mouth. So he could turn around and say, well, I didn't say that. You said it. Chris, we see you. We're on to you. We know what's happening there. Jessica is visibly hurt. She's crying. And it feels like he lets her say the words instead of owning it himself. So much for being direct. He ultimately admits that the physical connection just isn't there for him. And what I'm trying to find out is, was this not discussed in the pods? Because you're bringing it up now and it's not making sense. She did say that in the pods, she told him that she's not going to be doing Pilates every day. That's not the type of chick that she is, because she's in the hospital, right? So what is happening? You spend 2 days out of the house and all of a sudden the physical connection is not there for you. Make it make sense. Now, y'all, that's where the episode cuts, and that's how episode 8 ends. We'll have to see how this conversation continues in the next episode. But that was everything that went down in Love is Blind Season 10, Episode 8. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and like this video if you haven't already. Share it with a friend. Subscribe to the channel. Share all of your thoughts with me. Let's talk about it below, and I'll catch you all in the next recap. Bye!